Hey, how you doing? Well, today is all about influences. What are the things that have influenced me, not only musically, but throughout my lifetime as well. But this is not just about me, so share with me your influences. There should be a chat function. I'd love to talk to you as this video is happening. Share your influences with me and we'll talk about those. All right, so of course we're going to start with music. What has been the music that has influenced, impacted my life the most? Well, you know what? We'll just start with the records. That's what we'll start with. So when I was a kid, wasn't too long ago, but when I was a kid, my mother would put on these old school records and she would sing and dance, and I learned so much from just grasping what these artists were trying to say and what they were doing. So we're going to start there. We're going to start with records. All right. So this first record I'm going to share with you that has influenced my life, of course, Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye, come on. Every time I do this song, What's Going On, or I do the version of Let's Get It On, it creates this reaction within the audience. So that was probably one of my first influences. Marvin Gaye was, man, he told me how to take a song and make love to the song, you know? Another influence that I had, we're gonna start with, we'll do this one. This is a good one here. James Ingram. So James Ingram was big back in the 80s, had this great, big, powerful voice. And he taught me how to connect with his audience from an emotional standpoint. That's why I love James Ingram. All right. So this one you won't see coming, but this is a new one that I just put on in the car and let it play. Coltrane, I Love Supreme. It says colored vinyl. I'm not sure what the heck that means. But talk about expressing yourself in different ways. You know, I think for him, when I picked up the guitar, which he doesn't play the guitar, but he's expressing himself on his instrument in a totally unique way. And I'm like, man, I wonder if I can learn how to do that on the guitar. All right. All right, I get this a lot. People say, you sound like Johnny Gill. Woo, woo, woo. So this is Johnny Gill. This is before New Edition. And, when I was a kid, I'd be in my room with my double deck tape player, listening to Johnny Gill rewind, listen, rewind, sing, rewind. And Johnny Gill taught me how to, do some runs and take it back to church. All right. These are two newer artists that I love. And I've seen this guy a couple times. Gary Clark Jr., just a phenomenal artist to come from this modern era and take blues and bring it back to the forefront. This is right up my alley. Now, another artist I got to see a couple years back, this is his first album, Curtis Hardy. If you never heard of Curtis, make sure you look him up. I think you are going to be surprised at some of his stuff. He blows me away. All right, so enough about musical influences. What's next? People that are close to me influences. All right. So a big influence on my life has actually been my father. My dad was from Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where he grew up with 6 or 7 brothers and sisters. And his father passed away when he was young. But what my father was able to do was take all of that pain, go to college, create an opportunity for me and my brothers and sisters to pursue the things that we want to pursue. So he took something from nothing and he made it into something. And so he taught me hard work, discipline, being a good man, following through on all the things that you say you're going to do. So my dad has played a big part of my life. I didn't know it as a kid, and he would make me do things over, and it would frustrate the heck out of me, but I learned so much from him. All right, another big influence. I told you my father was from Charlotte, North Carolina. My grandfather, my mother's father, his name was Big Daddy. And he's from Charlotte, North Carolina. My parents are from Charlotte, North Carolina. And his name is Big Daddy. Now, of course, with a name like that, you know that there's a whole bunch of extra that he brings to the table. But the cool thing about Big Daddy, he wasn't like showboaty or anything like that. He was just this regal, honorable man. And he showed me how to conduct myself with my head up, with pride, and he showed me that you can be anything you want to be as long as you put your mind to it. So the last person that I want to talk to you about who was a big influence on me was Mr. Pryor. Now, Mr. Pryor was my choir teacher all the way from about 6th grade to about 12th grade. And I was a part of this show choir. Mr. Pryor taught me was how to take a concept, a musical concept, put a show together around that concept, and then travel with that concept. So he taught me a lot when in my adolescence on how to conduct myself in front of a stage and how to conduct myself musically. So those are the three men that have been instrumental in my life. Now, I'm probably going to do a special segment for the women in my life that have been a great influence on me. But 3 more items I want to talk about that have been influences in my life. Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, the rest of my family was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. My cousins, aunts, uncles, they're still all in Charlotte, North Carolina. And when I would travel there to see them, I got to see these beautiful black people that were confident, sure of themselves, and were on a path. And that solidified in my mind how I needed to conduct myself. So Charlotte has always been this place I revered and looked up to, and going there as a kid was probably the highlight of my year, because I got to see people that looked like me, that talked like me, that act like me, and I got to understand myself a little bit better. Another thing that has influenced me is food. Now, being from the South, or my family being from the South, we would gather around the table on special occasions, birthdays, holidays, and at the table, we would think about and talk about all the things that we were excited about, all the things that we're looking forward to, all the things that had happened. And so food became this wonderful chasm of emotions and connections. And so food has always been a thing that has inspired me. To this day, I love to cook for people. I invite people over and I'll cook Asian cuisine, I'll cook Southern cuisine, I'll cook American cuisine. I'll try just about anything. Maybe I'll cook at one of the shows for you. And the last thing that has been a big influence on me has been fitness. Staying in shape. So I love riding bikes. Matter of fact, I try to, when the season is nice, I try to get out at least once or twice a week and get on my bike. It's a great activity and I like to ride. And as a kid, I used to love to get on my bike and ride. So as an adult, I find myself going back to the things that have made me truly happy. So those are some of my influences. I would love to see and know about some of your influences. So share them with me, and I will see you soon. Peace and love.